Preparations for a grand spectacle of color, movement, and cultural motifs for the 40-year anniversary of independence for St. Lucia are underway. Producer in charge of the parade, Adrian Auger, has expressed that the event is looking to fortify pride and reinstill the importance of the history of St. Lucia. He is calling on local groups to be a part of the cultural parade.
The parade, which is going to be on the afternoon of the 22nd and which will go from Fiji Roundabout into the city and back out, is open to a vast array of participants. Intentionally, we are looking for 40 contingents comprising approximately 40 people each, because that has all sorts of wonderful biblical and symbolic references. And of course, it's 40 years of independence. But we are open to requests from any number of groups, uniformed groups, community groups, Lawas, La Marguerite, mothers and fathers, groups of students, cyclists, bikers, musicians on trucks, commercial houses displaying their thematic messages. We're very, very open to receiving ideas and participation from a vast number of people. It's not exclusive. We have very, very clear principles that it must be celebratory. It must be about St. Lucia, whether it's the culture, the landscape, the people, the artistry, the commercial sector, all welcome. But it has to be celebratory. It has to be St. Lucian. Because that's what we're expressing in this particular 40th anniversary of our independence.
That was St. Lucian cultural icon Adrian Auger. An integral aspect of the cultural identity of St. Lucia lies in the pride of the individuals that Fair Helen has produced. Those who have cemented their legacy, and in doing so cemented St. Lucia's legacy as well. With Nobel Laureate Week approaching, Hot 7 News reached out to the St. Lucia National Trust to find out what preparations are in place for Walcott House this year. Solange Alfred reports.
Sir Arthur Lewis and Sir Derek Walcott have both paved the way for greatness emerging out of St. Lucia, with Nobel Laureate festivities slated for the 13th of January. Program Officer for Built Heritage of the St. Lucia National Trust, Jermaine Joseph, says that preparations for the celebrations will include a tour of the vibrant Walcott House.
As part of the festival, the Walcott House will be hosting an open house for students and visitors between the 21st and the 25th of January, between the hours of 9 and 4 p.m. And during that process, persons come in, they do a tour of the museum.
The tour will include an engaging audio-visual presentation of the Derek Walcott brothers and original watercolors and sketches from the Nobel Laureate. Joseph says that although the controversial past of the Walcott House, which threatened its closure, the house remains open and an important locale that preserves the heritage of St. Lucia.
We intend to keep the house open as long as possible. Of course, we're appealing to the general public for donations, and they can donate on our page, our website, www.slunattrust.org. And so we're open, we're vibrant, we're still keeping Walcott House alive, and intend to do so for the coming years.
Sir Arthur Lewis received the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1979, while Sir Derek Walcott received his Nobel Prize in Literature in 1992. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Now let's take a look at some of the stories grabbing headlines in the region. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was being sworn in for a second term on Thursday amid international calls for him to step down. A dozen Latin American governments and Canada in a coalition have rejected the legitimacy of Maduro's next term, and Washington has sanctioned top officials in his government. But Cuba's president and the president of Bolivia were among the foreign leaders who attended the ceremony. While Maduro's popularity has plunged amid scarcities and hyperinflation and has even sparked a mass immigration, supporters continue to back the man who took over from the late Hugo Chavez. About 46 sugar workers are being cut from the Barbados Agricultural Management Company. They are the latest casualties under the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Program. On Wednesday, the Barbados Workers Union and the BAMC reached an agreement regarding the number of workers to be laid off. After a nearly 2-hour meeting, the union's Deputy General Secretary, Dwayne Paul, said that the number did not include those who accepted separation packages. The sports news with Tennyson Glasgow is up next.